We shift our focus to this story now. The African National Congress is meeting with thousands of its councillors in an effort to improve service delivery at local government level. For more on the story, we cross to SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko, who's at FNB Stadium for us. Good afternoon, Samkele. Now, before we get to sentiment of some of the councillors gathered there, let's start with just bringing us up to speed with the program. Where are we now? Has the Secretary General already unveiled the Service Delivery and Infrastructure Action Plan?
The ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is on the podium right now speaking on the Service Delivery Action Plan, the processes that the ANC will undertake in order to try and recover ailing municipalities within the country. Also the Regional Secretary, Mr. Hlabathi, just the essence of service. In the recent past, violent protests taking place in areas such as Tembisa, Ivory Park over issues of electricity, particularly that surcharge that the municipality wanted to put on. There's also issues of refuse collection in some parts of the municipality. How have you been able to deal with some of the service delivery challenges in areas such as Tsakane as well?
Yeah, it must generally be said that the provision of service delivery in Ekurhuleni is stable. But of course, we accept that there are pockets of excellence in those areas that you are mentioning. And that is why the Collective Mayoral Committee, as the Executive Mayor, has taken a posture that on those issues, we should be seen to be responding with agility so that our responsiveness to where there are service delivery gaps is felt in the shortest space of time. We will be interacting with the communities in Ekurhuleni on the issue of the surcharge, because that forms part of the determination of the energy tariffs as guided by NERSA, and we believe that out of that community engagement we will find a solution. We are dealing with issues of the sustainable provision of water in Ekurhuleni. It's really not a major issue. You will recall that even during the tenure of former Mayor Mzondile Masina, we in fact started a program called Aqualipa, where literally we are constructing almost 29 reservoirs in an attempt to make sure that the water supply in the city of Ekurhuleni does not get interrupted. So it's not a major issue in the city of Ekurhuleni. What we accept is challenges around issues of energy, where our infrastructure gets to be overloaded, where our infrastructure gets to be vandalized, in particular cable theft. And that requires a concerted and collaborative effort between ourselves as government as well as the community members that are being affected. But insofar as the investment into the energy infrastructure, we have pronounced, for instance, 1.4 billion that will go towards the Department of Energy. And part of what we are doing is to stabilize our network enhancement so that the provision of electricity is sustainable.
But there have been some governance challenges in Ekurhuleni, particularly with that note verbal that was written by the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Ekurhuleni when it comes to the appointment of the Chief Financial Officer of the municipality. How is that process unfolding? I am told you have a council meeting in the foreseeable future to discuss this very same issue.
We have put up a view that we believe that the appointment process of the senior managers in Ekurhuleni has conformed with the legislation. And of course, the minister has raised particular exceptions, and we are taking a view that says there must be an IGR discussion between ourselves as a city, as well as the province and the office of the minister, so that we find each other in terms of the understanding and the interpretation of the legislation, insofar as, for instance, the composition of the panel that made a recommendation to council. So we don't believe that it is a material issue. In fact, this leadership in the city of Ekurhuleni is on a positive trajectory to ensure that senior management in critical departments gets to be appointed.
How is this municipality on an upward trajectory when there are allegations that the municipality is failing to pay service providers on time?
Those are allegations. Generally, we are living up to the expectation of paying service providers. We have accepted as the city of Ekurhuleni, for instance, when I came in as the MMC of Finance, we exposed the fact that we are not in a good financial position. The under collection of the 2 billion, which we ourselves have actually exposed, and we are doing something to recover the money that was due to the city. And the extent to which we are able to service some of our service providers depends on the cash flow. I can confirm to you that when we took over, we were sitting at about 9 days cash on hand. We are now at about 21 days cash on hand, and that has allowed us to actually broaden the payment of service providers. We have also pronounced in our budget speech on the 29th of May that part of the initiative is to enter into a payment agreement with some of the service providers, because that on its own, it assures that the city will be paying on a monthly basis and of course for a particular point in time. That is a problem we've acknowledged, and we are doing something in response.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chongzizo Ntabati, MMC of Finance of Ekurhuleni. I am going to bring in the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, also the ANC's regional convener of the ANC in Johannesburg. Do we have water, Mr. Mayor?
The question is asked wrong. Since there was no water last week in some of the areas, what interventions have we done? We've done every intervention we could do, and we've restored water in the area of Westbury. We've got a bit of challenges in Ward 5966 in Kensington. I was there this morning, constantly addressing their problem. Yes, we have admitted that the infrastructure in Johannesburg has problems, and we have to continue to do the programs we've been doing on pipe replacement, replacing of pressure valves, etc., so that we can get our infrastructure to the standard at which it must be at. But generally, the area that is now battling, it's what 59, 65 and 66 and 118 in Kensington and so on. So we are working on addressing those areas. They do get water, and the water gets closed as we try to get the water levels higher so that there could be consistent water supply. So we are now focused in that area.
When you look at the water challenges within the city of Johannesburg, what will it take to finally bring this issue to finality? I do know that there have been a number of meetings with the Minister of Water and Sanitation, with the province as well, to try and resolve this issue and this crisis that Johannesburg residents are facing. Because if you look at the Human Rights Commission, it does say that the lack of provision of water is a violation of human rights.
Yeah, the bigger issue that we have to deal with is pipe replacement and dealing with leaks and dealing with illegal connection. And of course, some of the infrastructure it's old, even the technology it's old, is bringing new technology in those infrastructure. So those are the four main issues. And lastly, it's about consumption, reducing and maintaining consumption within acceptable levels, and encouraging residents of Johannesburg to conserve water, since we all know it's a scarce resource. So those are the five main critical issues. We will be, of course, we do have a master plan, and we are sharing it with communities as we move and engage communities, but it's meant to deal with infrastructure and the five issues I have referred to.
Maya Mararo, if you look at the recent study was saying that over 600 strict traffic lights and street lights in Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane are not working. How far are you in the city of Johannesburg in resolving the lighting issue that is there and that is largely affecting the safety of the residents of the city of Joburg?
There's progress that has been made in terms of street lights. We have been out there changing them. The biggest problem that affects both street lights and traffic signals is vandalism. You replace and fix today, 2 days later, it's vandalized. But there's work that we're doing, and we're focused on it.
When it comes to other issues, particularly the inner city, pick it up refuse. The president had said the city is torn, it's like a dark city, the city was filthy. I went to downtown Johannesburg recently. It wasn't in a very good state. How far are you with around Gwamaimai, Doornfontein, those areas? There was sewage running down the streets unabated.
Yes, we continue to deal with those bad pipes that constantly happen in the inner city. As I said, the infrastructure is old. But get inside my mind and come and tell me how clean my mind is, because there are programs we are doing around that precinct, because we have elevated my mind as an important tourist destination for us. There's work we are doing, and we'll continue to do so.
When you look at the overall city, Mr. Mayor, what is the overall projection of where the city of Johannesburg will become the G20 summit? Particularly noting some of the interventions we are trying to make. We had a U20 over the past weekend. Are you ready to host the G20 summit?
No, we've been ready. We've been doing all the work necessary to ensure that the visitors, when they come for the G20, they come to a city that is lit, a city that is welcoming, and the city that has capacity. Remember, Samkele, we've already hosted just over 5 meetings of the G20. We've also hosted about 80 Shepherd meetings already. So we have the capacity to host big meetings, including this one, which is attended by just about 7,000 people. So we do have the capacity as Johannesburg.
Lastly, Mr. Mayor, the President is about to speak. Who will be the city manager of the city of Johannesburg? I see you've gone through the interview process. How far are you with that process of appointing a city manager?
Yeah, we are following council processes. You interview, we have done. You do vetting, and then you prepare the reports to council. When we're ready, then the report will go to council.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Tadamura, speaking on the state of the city of Johannesburg.